Hey guys, and thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. In this episode, we're going to talk about the importance of establishing and expanding your partnerships on a global basis while you're moving away from a transactional approach to a strategic approach. Now, many of you, of course, have heard from me in the past when we've talked about the focus and the emphasis and the importance of establishing strategic partnerships. I head up strategic partnerships as an example at an amazing cybersecurity company called Trustonic. But at the same time, we recognize as well that we don't always get to a point where we have strategic partnerships in play. Now, a big question is why? And of course, one of the main reasons as to why we as organizations, whether we're out of North America, out of Europe or the West, why it's difficult and challenging for us to be able to establish strategic partnerships internationally, whether it's in Latin America, Asia Pacific, Africa as an example, is that we tend to continue to take a transactional approach to how we interact with our prospective partners or our prospects in markets. So one of the most important aspects of being able to establish that strategic partnership with your prospects and targets in those various markets, as an example, is you have to start thinking like a strategic player. If you look at yourself as a vendor, if you look at yourself as a transactional player, that's exactly how you are going to be perceived by your prospective partner or by the company that you're trying to, quote unquote, sell to or sell with. So move that mindset away from a transactional mindset in terms of you are a vendor to you are a trusted advisor. Now, how do you get to that point where you are seen as a trusted advisor? Well, one of the other steps I've taken and I've recognized, and I really coach my teams on this as well, is that if you are engaging with a counterpart at a prospect or an existing customer, where you want to expand a relationship, if you're engaging at mid-level management or you're engaging with procurement, the chances are, and there's nothing against those departments or those groups, but the chances are you're likely engaging in a transactional conversation. The best way to assess whether you are indeed engaging in a transactional discussion is if you send material or you provide information that includes pricing, and we'll get to that in a second, but if you include pricing, just watch to see whether they actually flip the pages if you're actually on video, or even in how they interact, if they simply flip to the last page, which is typically your pricing page. If they do that, that is a massive signal that all they are thinking about, it's not necessarily what they care about, but all they are thinking about is what is the price that you have to offer. That's a clear sign that, again, you are transactional. You are seen simply as a vendor. Now, how you move up that value chain, as I call it, is it's so important to start to establish relationships both at the mid-level manager perspective, so those we would call perhaps influencers and maybe some stakeholders, but more often up within the organization. Now, I know that's easier said than done. We don't all have access to executives within our prospects and within our client base, again, where we're looking to expand our relationships. But you have to fundamentally challenge yourself to go up that value chain so that you are interacting with senior level decision makers and stakeholders and influencers. And part of how you do that is you demonstrate value and benefit. Now, I know that's a challenge, again, particularly in these markets like LATAM, Southeast Asia, Africa as an example, where so often folks just like to go to the transactional and to the price point. And again, that happens across the globe, but generally I'm sort of reflecting on those markets. And if you can demonstrate value and benefit and help to articulate those values and benefits to the executive and to the influencers within the target groups that you're talking about, then you're in a much stronger position to be able to tie in the value and benefit to ultimately to what your pricing is. And you're able to back that up with proof points. And part of how, of course, you go about doing this is you share white papers, you share thought leadership, you share examples, client examples, testimonials, that can help to augment your message and the position that you are articulating, that you can truly bring value to that organization. I'll go further than that as well to just share with you some really important steps as well that companies can take. If there's pushback as it relates to the way you're positioning your pricing and you haven't yet augmented it with value and benefit, do the homework. Take the time that's necessary in order to actually help craft out a 1, 2, 3, 4-page PowerPoint or whatever other platform material you like to use to help enable and empower your counterpart to have the information at his or her hands that he or she can use as they can actually further articulate up the value chain, up the chain of command within these organizations, just how different you are to their organization. And you back those up with proof points, examples, experiences, and you'll be in a much stronger position to be interacting at a more strategic level with your prospects and your existing customers where you're looking to expand upon the established business. This is a very important key step in moving forward as you look to establish global strategic partnerships. Once again, I'm Gregory Wade. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And I know others within the network would love to hear from you in terms of how you've gone about expanding your global partnerships to the point where they are strategic. Thanks again for watching.